I am LaMarsha Lewis. Let's talk. Disclaimer. Fair use. I am LaMarsha Lewis YouTube channel is a news reporting site covered under copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research without the need for permission from or payment to the copyright holder. I am LaMarsha Lewis. Let's talk. What I want to talk to you all guys about today, I'm just thinking about today is July the 12th. And as we know, on January the 6th, basically 6 days into the new year of 2021, when we all had such a trying year in 2020 due to the pandemic and coronavirus that had taken over 500,000 American lives under the previous administration, Trump. And we are still currently in a pandemic, but life is getting back somewhat to norm, and it is better. And most of all, we can say we're still here. So what I want to talk about into this particular commentary, they're talking about getting a committee together in regards to the insurrection that took place January the 6th. And of course, you have the Republican Party, the GOP, the Grand Old Party, kicking against it. I read and have been seeing where Liz Cheney, as we know, they basically are trying to do everything they can do to disown her. They've taken her off of the committee that she was a strong voice for, had leadership committees that they voted to remove her. All for the fact that she is one that is sticking up for right and speaking up against Trump, Donald J. Trump, the former 45th president, who put a hit. Let's not forget what happened. I know Meghan McCain, when the ladies were talking about it, it's been a few weeks ago, when the ladies were talking about it on The View, and she was like, well, it's time to move on. That was like January the 6th. It had been months ago. She tried to, no, she didn't try. She did do what Meghan McCain does best, what Republicans do best. They try to deflect. They don't stay on top of it. They switch the narratives, flip the script, however you want to say, basically deflect. She went to talking something about gas prices, how gas prices was going up, and most Americans, how they're going to get to work. Like she's not concerned about any Americans, please. But let me not get off track. Again, I just been paying attention to, they are still supporting Donald J. Trump. It just baffles me. It really just baffles me that this man put a hit on America at our nation's capital, and every one of them, from the House of Representatives to the senators, with some of them had their family. We know the Vice President Mike Pence had his wife and daughter, and I know the gentleman that had did the trial, when they did the second impeachment trial, he said how some of his family was there, his daughter, and now she said she don't want to come back to the Capitol. How do adults, because see, we got adults in these leadership roles. We don't have kids. Kids aren't allowed to be member of Congress and make decisions on the behalf of you and me, the American people. These are adults. Adults who know right from wrong. Know that, one, Trump lost the election, and as it's been said, many behind closed door with, and now to get there willing to come out publicly and support the big lie. So much so that, again, this is what caused the insurrection. God, they were voting to do the votes, cast the electors and all of that. Trump wanted Mike Pence to vote against Pence. That wasn't within his control. He was there basically just to sit there on the podium as the vice president to make sure that everything went as it was supposed to, that the actual electors actually got counted and all of that. But even after the insurrection, you still had some Republicans. Those two people from the state of Mississippi, I live in Mississippi, the woman that would sit front row at a public hanging, she voted to basically take away the rights where the American people had spoke. She was trying to withhold those votes. So did Roger Wicker and so many others of the Republican Party. They gave the man another second acquittal in that impeachment trial. They have never held him accountable. And they continue to support someone that is so vile, so vulgar. He's disrespected military. He's mocked the disability. He's mocked women. So you tell me, how can any man, the late Barbara Bush, that was married to George Bush, the father, said it so best. How can any woman support Trump? But yet you got that MTG, because I'm not going to say her name. I don't really want to say her initials, but she out here supporting so many others. Like I said, my senator, but she's not my senator because I didn't vote for her, but she is a senator that represents my state. And Roger as well. But I'm like, how? And then as a man, you're a man. The man is supposed to be our example. He's supposed to be the head of the household. He's supposed to lead us. And you support a man that mocks women, that mocks the disability, people that has disability, that mocks military, the men and women, that, as they say, we are supposed to honor our servicemen and women, thank them for their service, but many of them also was there also at our nation's capital on January the 6th. So I'm just trying to figure out what's wrong with people. How do you support someone that you know lost the election? Because how in the hell can Trump say he won when he wasn't the only name on the ballots? All these like Lindsey Graham that was reelected, the woman that was sit front row of public, she beat out, unfortunately, Mike Espy, who was running, who's former in political arena. He's no stranger to holding office. He was in the I believe the Clinton administration, where he was over agriculture and representative and very well known. But again, how do you support someone like Donald Trump that refused to accept that he lost, so much so that he continued his big lie, but made it worse when he really incited an insurrection? This was at his instruction, his direction, and he watched it. The videos are there. And then you got some of these silly, ignorant Congress Republicans saying it was a tour. A woman got killed. A police officer, a man got his eye, I read where lost eye. We lost a police officer. People have committed suicide, and how they was pushing against and just dismantled and just left our nation's capital in such filth and ruin. Feces everywhere, no respect. The man with his foot on Speaker Pelosi's desk. They ramming through offices of the congressmen and women. Total. That wasn't a tour. That was terrorists in our own country at the incitement at that time, still the 45th president. And yet you got people that is representing, we have people that's representing us that are in Congress, United States representatives and United States senators, and they trying to change all because they lost, and as it has been said, they lost in the last election, and now they're doing everything in their power to make sure that they still in the future election, because that's what they're trying to do with trying to all this voter suppression, trying to restrict us from being able to vote. That's why we got to stand up and we got to speak out against these things. We cannot be silent. We have the right to use our voices, because when we go to that ballot box, as I have said in other commentary, make our voices heard and make our vote count at the ballot box. Do not be silenced. We can't afford that. Because look what they're doing. And we see in the state of Georgia, they got 2 Democratic senators. Pastor Raphael Warnock, the first African American to be a United States Senator for Georgia. That's huge. That's humongous. And he's running again. So I ask you Georgians to please support him again and send him back to D.C. We need as many Democrats as possible. I'm hoping Stacey Abrams will run for governor. And so many others. But my point is, Speaker Nancy Pelosi is preparing the committee. We cannot let these people that are currently in Congress, that's from the United States Senators and these United States Senators and the House of Representatives, especially the Republican Party, they still not doing what they should be, which is holding him accountable. We know that wasn't a tour. We're not blind. Our eyes saw this terrible act play out in real time. And how long it took for Trump to even come out. And then he still didn't really tell them. He said, we love you. Go in peace. His daughter tweeted, even though it's a deleted tweet, but she tweeted, American patriots stay peaceful. When that was not peace. They stood there. We saw that the family, Trump, Ivanka, all of them. And Trump had told them to go fight like hell. Those were the words that came. Don't allow these people to play you, to be like you're ignorant, because you're not. You saw it play out in real time. The videos are still there. And to everyone that was there, that really witnessed it, we saw it play out on live TV. But they were there in real live time, hiding under desks, praying, wondering if they would get to see their families again. And then you got United States congressmen and women still willing to support this crowd. Come on now. No. So I wanted to speak on about this matter, about January the 6th, when the insurrection took place at our nation's capital, at the incitement, at the instruction, direction of Trump. Let's hold all of these people. Trump, the Republican Party, all those are still kicking against it when they know this was wrong. We need to take a stand. And I really hope when it's time to, all of these Republicans, when it's time for them to run again, that they get voted out. It's time for change, y'all. It's time for true change. So let's take a stand and let's do it together. I'm LaMarsha Lewis. Let's talk.